Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, your number one source for income-oriented investing, and it's time for the final portfolio unveil of the year of 2024. So let's go over everything, everyone. It's been a crazy, great year for the stock market overall, and I think I got by mistake a Christmas present today. I actually got paid double dividends for QDT. I'll show you in a second. But anyway, grand total right now, this is with the mistake, so I'm assuming it's a little bit lower than this. It's 1.94 million. Pretty crazy. I'm really getting close to that $2 million mark. Of course, remember guys, this is translated to Canadian dollars, which obviously the Canadian dollar is really, really bad right now. So that is helping to, prop up this this total. But this is the total here, 1.941. Pretty crazy here. So as usual, let's go through the retirement accounts together. Before we do that, make sure you guys download Passive in case you haven't done it. I know I talk about it every single time, but Passive is a good friend of the channel. Remember guys, there is a free version, a community user version. The elite membership's only $100 a year, but if you use my coupon code, it's half of that. And then remember, it comes free anyway if you use Questrade like myself. But again, if you don't use Passive, which is a nice little organizational tool to manage all your accounts, there's reporting tabs and everything, or you could organize all your accounts all in one place. Make sure to download it and check it out. Very, very convenient. So as usual, everyone, in case you're new to the channel, you guys know already, but in case you're new, I have two entities, 6 accounts totals, 2 entities, right? So my retirement accounts, which compromises Erica's RSP, my RSP, and my small lira, and then there's the main portfolio, which compromises our 2 TFSAs and our joint cash account, or our joint non-registered account. So we're going to start with the retirement accounts first. And as you could see here, all I have in the retirement account is QDTE. All right, so I just took off my face to make sure you guys could see everything. So let's go through the Excel file together, which has the breakdown here. This is the retirement accounts. As you can see, there's only one holding in each of these accounts, and everything is on drip. I repeat, I still get questions about this, even though I say it every single month. Everything is on drip as far as the retirement accounts go. And if you want to download this Excel file, you could download it for free on our website, passiveincomeinvesting.ca. Just go to free tools and resources, and the very first download will be this Excel file, whereas the entire breakdown of my portfolio of the RSPs and the main portfolio, which we'll check out in a second. And also included, by the way, are some blank portfolio templates, even a blank budget template as well. So moving on, getting back to the RSPs here. So it's, my RSP, my wife's RSP, entirely in QDT, NASDAQ 100 index, basically with daily covered calls. Roundhill is still crushing it. QDT is still outperforming. QQQ, absolutely incredible. So as you could see here, there's 5,228 shares, 5,228 in both the accounts. But if we go back here, there's actually 5336. I actually got the latest dividend, the 86-cent dividend, twice for some reason, and it dripped twice. So I'm, obviously this could be a Christmas present, but I really doubt it. I just think it's a mistake. So I, instead of having 523, I have 518 with 5228 shares, basically. So this is not counting the mistake. I'm pretty sure it'll be reversed shortly. So $4,000 to $5,000 Canadian more than what it actually is here, 323, but I actually left it as is, or correct in the sheet. So here is the entire breakdown. Now that my RSP and my wife's RSP have exactly the same thing with the exact number of shares, it's very easy. I just got to update one account basically. But you see the progression throughout the entire year. This is the year in summary in terms of the amount in the account. It's very easy to see how your account is doing if everything is on drip and you only have one holding, right? So you can see that every single month, as the NASDAQ's been kicking ass this year, obviously the amount has been going up every single month with those weekly drips, those weekly compounding. And by the way, the annual dividend, I just did an estimate of $13 a year, which translates to about 25 cents a week. Remember, QDT gives a weekly dividend. Sometimes it's higher than that, sometimes it's lower. I just ballpark the average at 25 cents. Of course, if they start giving lower than that for a few weeks in a row, I'll lower it. But this is just a ballpark. I mean, the last dividend was 86 cents. The latest one was 80 cents. I have no idea how they're able to distribute such a high weekly dividend, by the way, when volatility is fairly low on the NASDAQ. It went up a little bit lately. But anyway, and just for reference, as you could see at the bottom, I'm actually filming this on the 24th on Christmas Eve, right? So there is the retirement accounts, everyone, for my RSP, Erica's RSP. It's just in the NASDAQ. It's going up significantly every month. And as you could see, this top part here is measuring the entire performance of my RSP since the beginning of time, like since I opened an RSP, like at 18 to 20 years old or something like that. So you see that I'm up finally 119%. Erica's a little bit less, and if you're asking, well, you have the same thing. Well, it hasn't been the same thing for the entire amount of time, right? So obviously very happy with the RSPs. They're just going up. They're just going to drip away, and we're not touching them for a really long time as of yet. And in terms of the actual QDT investment, so when I went all in on QDT, it was a $180,000 investment. And now if you look at the actual value, it's 225,000 USD. Remember, this is the Canadian translated to Canadian dollars. So 225, but this is with the mistake here. You see that the number of units is higher, right? So it's actually more like 220. But either way, 180,000. Now my actual investment is worth about 220,000, right? So I'm actually up $40,000. So obviously a really, really good investment. QDT has been kicking ass. Even XDT, which is the S&P 500 equivalent, beating the index. Even the Russell one, RDT, is beating the Russell index as well. So it seems like Roundhill really has found the magic formula. No leverage here. It's not a leverage covered call ETF, and it's beating the indexes, something I never thought possible. So I'm very, very happy with these two accounts. And of course, with my Lira, best decision I probably made all year, I went fully in MSTY. I switched my maxi position, the simplified Bitcoin yield ETF, to a MicroStrategy with covered calls. So a best decision. This is the Yield Max MSTR, MSTY. So you see that I'm up significantly, right? This is a small Lira that I had from my leftover Air Canada pension, where it was 33,000, and now it's actually worth 77,000. So I actually more than doubled my Lira, which is absolutely incredible. You see that here, right? It's worth about 77,000 Canadian. This is Canadian dollars. So that's it for the retirement accounts, everyone. It's just everything's dripping away. I got double dividend payment for QTD this week, which happened to be a really big dividend. That's a mistake. I'm sure it'll be reversed soon. But anyway, now we're going to move on to the main portfolio. Before we get into the main portfolio, I'd like to thank the official sponsor of this video and a good friend of the channel, Hamilton ETFs, everyone. So don't forget that they have a huge lineup of a bunch of sectors. They're income first yield maximizer ETFs. You got real estate, you got Canadian financials, you got tech, you got US financials, etc., where income is first here. Very, very high yields. And of course, you have my personal favorites, the all-in-ones, right, where they combine a lot of these ETFs. You have H-Yield or HYLD, which focuses on the US stock market, of course, monthly distributions. And you have HDIV, which focuses on a hybrid of Canada and US, a little bit more in Canada. And it's actually, there's actually some growth ETFs in there, like some of their leverage non-covered call ETFs, like HFIN and HUTS as well. A nice little hybrid. So make sure to check out their lineup. Very, very good ETFs here, Hamilton ETFs. All right, everyone, moving on to the main portfolio, which is the combination of our two TFSAs and our joint non-registered account. You see the total here, the total value in Canadian dollars, 1.2, a little over 1.2 million. So this is exactly where this number is coming from right here, which is the current portfolio value versus the book cost, or how much I invested. And you actually see that I'm up almost 11% just in terms of capital. This does not include any of the income. So as usual, everyone, let's go through the changes I've made in December. There's quite a major one here. So the first thing I did was I ended up selling off LLHE, the Harvest Lily one. I think I might have mentioned this before, but it was done in really, really late November, I believe, or early December. But I just decided to sell it off. I didn't really need that, and I actually just swapped it into the Nvidia one for higher yield. But the big news of December, the big news is I decided to get rid of completely ENCL, the Global X Canadian oil and gas. So I had a remainder, I had trimmed it in November a little bit, 20K. I had $60,000 total, so I had trimmed 20,000 off of it in November, but I decided just to sell off the remaining 40,000. I did end up taking a $2,147 capital loss on it, and I did reinvest the proceeds mostly into Utes, the Evolve Utilities Covered Call ETF, and a little bit into bank as well. And yes, I did take, I did a $430 capital gain last month, but a 2,147 capital loss. So the grand total, I actually put the totals here, everyone. Okay, I see another. I had sold a little bit more, another $200 capital loss, but total here. Sorry about that. I just fixed it now. I realized I had a little capital gain also. So ENCL total, guys, from the entire time that I've had it, all the sales, it's a $1,937 capital loss. That's just the capital. But how much income did ENCL pay me the whole time I've had it? $10,489 of passive income. So it's actually a net profit. I am up on ENCL. It's a net profit of a little over $8,500. So I think that was a really, really good investment. So the reason I decided to sell it off is I'm kind of losing faith in Canada, to be honest with you. With the Trump administration coming in, we know that he's going to drill for oil. We know that oil prices are going to decline, most likely significantly. This is just my prediction. I figured I'd just get rid of it now and invest it in other things that have a little bit less risk. Still Canada, that's why I stuck with Utes and bank. So that's the major change in terms of changes, what I made in December. And I have a feeling I know I'm foreshadowing here. I think there's going to be some major streamlining changes also coming in January and February of the new year. So that's what I did. And what did I buy in December? Well, I pretty much went on a buying spree. I put $10,000 each in RS, HYLD, USCL, and another 20 grand in QQCL. So I went on an absolute buying spree. And this is really me putting my money where my mouth is. I know the markets are at all-time record highs, but like I keep saying, I am going to continue buying as much as I can every single month until I die. That's just it. So I don't care if the market's at a record or anything like that. So that's it in terms of the changes. Again, by the way, you could download this file right on our website in the free tools and download section. So if you go to the main portfolio, this is it, guys. This is what it looks like. A little bit slimmer now with ENCL not being there. So you see that HYLD, USCL at 160 a piece now, and QQCL at 170. These are my three musketeers, right? The three musketeers, which give me access to the entire American stock market via indexes. So we know the HYLD, USCL, S&P 500 index, and you have QQCL, the NASDAQ 100 index. My two favorite indexes of all time. So all have an increased position. You see the book prices here. You see the yields here as well. Number of shares, etc., monthly income, etc. GDV hasn't been touched. Still at a $10 book price with a 12% yield here. And this yield, by the way, is my yield. It's my yield on cost. It's not the current yield based on the current stock price. It's my yield. So RS added a little bit more in that one, right? Yes, another 10K. So I'm at 210. Just lowering the book cost. I think that RS is literally pretty much Canadian real estate, right? One of the best buys right now in terms of value. So I'm at 13.15 in terms of book cost. I'm just about to crack that 12% yield. It's actually my lowest yield right now, 11.86%. I find that funny. Bank, add a little bit more like I showed you. So my yield is, thanks to the dividend increase, to 11 cents a month. It's just under 18% yield. And you have Utes, which I added a lot under here. a lot in. Unfortunately, it's not an even number, but I'll probably maybe make that even shortly. So my book cost for Utes, Canadian Utilities, which is also suffering. I think Utes and RS are really the value buys definitely in the last couple of months. I did crack, the good news is I did crack the 17% yield mark with Utes with all the major buys that I did in it. I actually put 30,000 in Utes in December. So for the Nvidia one, so YTSL, the Tesla one, did not get touched. Unfortunately, no distribution increase for December. I know we've all been waiting for it, and I'm fairly certain it's going to come. But even if it doesn't, you could always switch to the Harvest one, which is coming out most likely in the next month or two. Tesla's coming out. You got Coinbase, you got MicroStrategy, you got Meta as well. So it's going to be very, very exciting, as well as an all-in-one, which is going to be very exciting as well. So you see now that I have 15K in the Nvidia one, which I'm up on. I think it's at like 1250 or something like that, with a nice 21% yield. And of course, last but not least, you got BTC Y.B, which had a distribution increase, which now gives me at 16% yield. And I have a strong suspicion I will strongly consider swapping this out for the MicroStrategy covered call ETF, just like I did in the RSP in the Lira, where I went up with MicroStrategy, because after seeing that podcast with Michael Saylor on PBD, I'm pretty much convinced that investing in MicroStrategy is, it's like an enhanced version. It's like, Bitcoin on crack, kind of. And I was convinced by that. And MicroStrategy has a lot of volatility. And of course, you know that if you're a covered call investor, an income investor, volatility is your best friend. So right now, I did crack the 14% yield mark. You could see here, this is everything together here. Monthly income gross is just under 13,000. Then, of course, you got the 25% withholding tax on the dividends that are in a non-registered account. But most of it I am getting back, because I am getting back capital gains and ROC as a non-resident. So you're looking at a monthly income net approximately of 12,245, which you see has been steadily growing every single month here. So obviously, I'm very happy with the portfolio. The 2024 has been a record year for the stock market as well. So, and don't forget, guys, if you feel like following this main portfolio every single day, don't forget to download Blossom. This is a mobile app. I think they just crossed 200,000 users. Make sure to follow me. You could follow my portfolio every single day. So make sure to download it. The link is in the video description below. It's absolutely free. You could put your own portfolio there as well, and chat with other retail investors. It's pretty cool. There's even a chat function. So if we do a summary of 2024, everyone, you know that if you scroll left on my portfolio, every single year I put the stats. So total passive income gross in 2024 with December, not counting the QD, this is just the main portfolio, right? Just the two TFSAs and non-registered, is a little over $130,000. With all the changes that I've made, which you see here, you see the capital gains in green, the capital losses in red. I did do a lot of streamlining in 2024 as well. I ended up declaring or having 24,000 in capital losses. So 2024, my profit, my realized profit, which is capital gains or losses plus the income, ended up being a little over $106,000. So obviously a very good year. $106,000 is basically my net profit for 2024. And I'll just show you. Forgot to do it last time. If you go to reporting, Passive has a really cool feature where you go to reporting and you could see your rate of return. This is for all accounts, everyone, all 6 accounts. You see that my 1 year rate of return just over 27%, which I'm happy with. And if I do all time, which calculates since I moved to Questrade, which was in April 2022, you see that my all-time average annual rate of return here is 35.26. So I'm very, very happy with that rate of return, that's for sure. So that's it for the main portfolio, everyone. Don't forget that I do offer a membership where you could see my trades live. You don't have to wait for the monthly portfolio unveil, right? My members already know about all of these trades that I did because they get the notification live. That is just one of the features of our membership, YouTube membership. Just click on the little join button to learn more about that. Also, don't forget that I recently launched a new digital product, the Ultimate Covered Call ETF Guide, your perfect tool to research all the covered call ETFs in one place on both the Canadian and the US market. Saves you a lot of time. Then, of course, we have the big product, the Ultimate DIY Investing Package, which includes the other product. So if you just want everything right off the bat, you just go straight for the Ultimate DIY Investing Package. Version 6 includes the Ultimate Covered Call ETF Guide. Version 6 just came out, and the prices will increase in 2025. So I highly recommend, they will increase a little bit, so I highly recommend you pick them up, or one of them, whichever one is best for you now. And I'll put the links in the video description below for that as well. So that's it, everyone. 2024 been a really good year to all of us. We'll see what happens in the next year. I think it's, I'm not making a prediction because I don't like making those, but I think it's going to be pretty good with Trump winning the White House, especially for US stocks. And we got a lot of exciting launches coming by Harvest next month with the all-in-one single stock covered call ETF, HHIS, and their MicroStrategy, Coinbase, Palantir. It's going to be really exciting. Just more and more products to choose from. So I'm filming this on Christmas Eve, right before the New Year. So I wish you guys a happy New Year. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and of course, stay passive.